Eduardo Bolsonaro, son of former President Jair Bolsonaro, says he expects more U.S. sanctions on Brazilian officials and possibly more tariffs over the legal crackdown of his father. Speaking in an interview in Washington after meetings with senior U.S. officials, he said Brazil cannot negotiate lower U.S. tariffs without concessions from the Supreme Court. His visit follows President Trump's 50% tariff on Brazilian goods and sanctions on the judge prosecuting Jair Bolsonaro, demanding an end to what he called a witch hunt. Jair Bolsonaro is on trial for allegedly plotting to overturn the 2022 election, which he denies. Eduardo called the tariffs bitter medicine to curb the legal offensive, warning trade talks will fail without resolving Brazil's institutional crisis. He expects U.S. visa restrictions to target Health Minister Alexandre Padilha and ex-President Dilma Rousseff. Brazil's top court is investigating both Bolsonaro's with Justice Alexandre de Moraes, placing Jair under house arrest and bearing contact with his son. Let's listen into what Eduardo Bolsonaro, Brazilian lawmaker and son of former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro, had to say.
Very happy that President Donald Trump is getting his attention to Brazil. He, Secretary Rubio, Secretary Bessent, and are applying some diplomatic medicines before the Brazilian regime consolidates itself. And this is very important because if they consolidate the regime, no longer will be useful all of these diplomatic medicines as sanctions or take the visas, American visas of this kind of authorities. If I do believe that some sanctions, more sanctions are coming against Brazilian authorities, yes, I do believe, because Alexandre de Moraes is still doubling down. The last thing that he did is put Jair Bolsonaro under Rome arrest, house arrest. And President Trump is saying that it's very bad, it's very ugly, all the lawfare that Jair Bolsonaro, his family, and his supporters are suffering in Brazil. So I could expect more tariffs because Brazilian authorities, they did not change their behavior. They are still doing everything wrong. They are still persecuting political opponents, and this is not a democracy. But it's a madness you believe that you are going all the time talking things against President Trump, like Lula said, like a new Trump administration would be the new face of Nazism. And then you'll be received with a red carpet here in Washington, D.C. This is insane. So they have to look for what they are doing. I'm not responsible for the results of their behaviors.
Now for this discussion, we are joined by retired Major General G.G. Dwivedi. He's a defense analyst, joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to NewsX World.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do you think this is normal or becoming normal as the son of previous government goes to another country, in this case U.S., and asks help from U.S. government to flee his father? And this has made some headlines in Brazil, making their family look bad, if, as Lula calls it. Well, how do you see this? What's your analysis?
Well, first and foremost, Suma, that the trial of Bolsonaro, the former president, is the internal matter of Brazil, and it is best tackled internally. And he is facing accusation of trying to overthrow the elected government and also the protest, and that trial is on. And while his defense has gone very strongly that these are all accusations and this is political vendetta, but the point is that I feel that the issue should have been tackled within Brazil itself. But second point is that his son now going to US and trying to seek support, and Trump also, President Trump also has shown his own interest in this, because the issue is that America has interest in the previous, in Bolsonaro's elections. And I think that this whole thing is sounding murky, because the issues of internal issues should not be taken internationalized. And I think if Brazilian people, they feel that this is being overstepping by his son, Eduardo. I think they are right. So I feel that the internal politics of a country must be left to the country itself, and the external forces should not try to influence the internal politics of another country. And unfortunately, this has been the trend now, because there have been accusations that how the elections of one country are actually influenced by other country. But this is a new trend, and I think it should be curbed. And I strictly feel that internal politics of a country must be left to the country, people of the country, and external forces should not try to influence the internal politics of another country, because that means they are impinging on the sovereignty of that country. Assume.
Thank you very much, retired Major General Gigi Dwivedi, for sharing that insight. Please stay with us.